Running long distances, I know it's hard to get everything in, you don't have the time. Well, in this video, you're gonna get 2 sneaky ways to get a little bit more strength in, a little bit of technique work, and of course, a little bit of injury prevention. Look, I know how hard it is as your training heats up, especially if you're training for that half marathon or that marathon or heck, even that ultra. All of a sudden the demands of your running is even greater. You're going out the door longer, and that means you have less time to do anything else. You got to go right back to work. You got to go right back to picking up your kids. That's always a challenge. Simultaneously though, the harder you push yourself, the more of that extra work you need, the more strength you need, and the more mobility work you need. So how do you fit these 2 things in? Well, by being sneaky, by adding and integrating some of this work into the run workout time you've already allotted for yourself. So what you're gonna do is follow this little dynamic warm-up. That's gonna be a nice way to get a little bit of mobility work in before in the beginning of your run and to get a little strength work in there so that your run technique is that much better. I'm gonna get started here. After about 5-10 minutes of running, I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna do some hip circles. A nice long lunge, real easy. I'm gonna start in a little plank. I'm gonna pull 1 foot outside here just so you can see. From here, I'm gonna get 5 to 10 circles one way. This is a nice, beautiful, rich movement because I can simultaneously open up so many different aspects of my hips and all the muscles and musculature around it. I can get deep into this hip, this hamstring, and these glutes. I can even shift forward into this calf and this ankle as a way of improving this. Once I've got 5 to 10 circles each way, I'm gonna go ahead and switch. Now, another aspect of our warm-up is not just to open up our hips a little bit more, but to get that blood pumping, to get our core involved, to get our shoulders a little bit warm. So that's where our mountain climbers come in next. I'm actually gonna first just step back and switch feet. I'm gonna step back and switch feet, and once I have that, I'm actually gonna jump and switch feet. I'm gonna jump and switch feet. And notice that my mountain climbers don't look like this down here. I'm pulling this leg all the way up outside my hands and my shoulders, all the way up, all the way up. I'm gonna go ahead and do 20 of those guys. That's gonna get me breathing a little bit harder while still emphasizing that hip position I really, really like. Finally, I'm gonna take it into a downward dog position, stretch out my hamstrings and my calves, and then I'm gonna actually flow forward into a push-up. I'm gonna start in a downward dog position, I'm gonna flow forward into a push-up, and then all the way back in that downward dog again. I'm gonna do between 5 and 10 of those. So I'm gonna start here, push my hips back, come forward, belly and butt's tight, all the way to the ground, all the way up, push back again. Now, if I'm someone who struggles in that push-up, that's okay. That's why we're doing it, we're getting a little practice. I'm gonna lower myself down, and on the way up, I'm gonna drop to my knees and press up from my knees. So I'm here, lower myself down, drop to my knees, press up from here, and I can go ahead and get my reps in there. You do this quick and dirty, it takes 2 minutes, and you will be blown away how much of a difference it makes in your running and your mechanics for the rest of your run. All right, so now you've finished your run, you've hit it hard, things are starting to tighten up a little bit. We need to add a little bit of mobility in there. Now I wanna show you one of my favorite ways to roll out your calves and your Achilles without a foam roller or anything else. And this is actually a nice way, in addition to just stretching out your calf, but getting a little bit of soft tissue work in there. So what I'm actually gonna do is start on all 4s. And I'm gonna take the shin bone of my left foot, and I'm gonna actually bring it across my right calf and hamstring, and I'm actually going to sink this bone, this bony part of my leg, down into the meat of my calf, and I can imagine I'm almost using it like a bow for a violin, and I'm just gonna be going back and forth, finding some little tight areas in those calves and giving myself a little bit of TLC and a little bit of love. Notice that I could start all the way high up in the calf, I could work in different areas, I could sit down and sink a little bit deeper there. I could go ahead and add a little bit of different lateral movement to get into those calves. I can work all the way down into that lower part and get even closer to where that soleus and that Achilles is, and I can find some knots, spend a little bit of time in there. But it's just such a fantastic way to get into that calf and that Achilles, because I know that that takes such a brunt of the pounding, especially when we do those longer runs. Go ahead and knit 2 to 3 minutes per side. You do this pretty regularly and your calves will thank you. Now, getting all the way to the finish line of a half marathon or beyond takes a lot of work, and they say it also takes a village. It's not just one person working alone. It requires an entire community to get you there. And that's why we created Building Distance, and that's why we want to be your coaches, right? We want to be that community and that village for you. We have either a 2-month or 4-month option to not only help you out in your running and to give you all the progressive run workouts that you need to be successful at those distances, but we have the strength training and the injury prevention work to keep you strong and to keep you injury-free all along the way. Both of these options have an incredible coaching group and community of other athletes training for the same thing, where you guys can support each other online and keep each other motivated and excited. Either way, go ahead and click on that link down below this video. Check out Building Distance. We're really excited to have you join us and check out this program.